Hi, everyone. Lewis here. I am going to be reading from an early draft of my sequel to Out on a Limb. It's going to be entitled The Dark Mirror. It's going to be book two of Hecate's Touch. It actually might be book three. I'm not quite sure of where this one will land, but it is a direct sequel to Out on a Limb, and it's going to feature the private occult detectives that you guys met in Out on a Limb, Rebecca Suarez and Peyton Marks. So part two starts off at the Metropolitan Museum of Art here in New York City, and I'm going to read to you the opening chapter. Professor Martin Edwards, curator of ancient American artifacts, bounded down the stairwell with Grace, the translucent spirit of a border collie, trotting alongside. She's so goddamn fast, Martin thought to himself as Grace pulled ahead, pale tongue fluttering from the side of her mouth. Martin wiped the sweat from his wrinkled forehead and wondered what would give out first, his knees or his heart. Not wanting to risk either, he stopped on the basement floor landing and watched Grace disappear around the corner, leaving behind the trail of glowing paw prints that only he could see on the concrete steps. As a Numazoa, the spirit of a talking magical animal, Grace would never age or tire, unlike Martin, who struggled after descending just 3 flights of stairs. You coming, Marty? Grace's voice echoed through the brightly lit stairwell. Martin unbuttoned his wool cardigan and continued his march down toward the museum's sub-basement, using the chrome railing as support this time. Martin found Grace pacing in front of a steel door marked Authorized Staff Only. He admired her rough gray and white coat and wondered what her fur looked like before becoming a blanched specter that only other Numazoa hosts like himself could see. Earth to Marty, Grace cocked her head to the side. Are you okay? Yes, I'm fine, Martin said, wiping his brow. He hadn't exercised this much in a decade, and his erratic heartbeat was proof of that. You don't sound fine, Grace said. I just can't believe the mirror finally arrived, Martin said between heaving breaths. Christ, I'm out of shape. Marty, you'll be 70 next month. Grace sat on her haunches and licked her paws. Remind me why we couldn't take the elevator down to the museum SICU? First of all, Martin leaned against the wall and pressed the palm over his chest. I hate that acronym. Well, it's not like sensitive idle containment unit rolls off the tongue, Grace said. Mid-lick, Martin nodded. Fair enough. Despite disliking the term, Martin understood the necessity of rooms that could suppress magical energies. Without them, institutions like the Met could never have functioned in the years after the Awakening, the day magic spread around the world. Martin thought back to all the social media videos of a Hecate statue coming to life in Greece. The 10-foot tall sculpture had walked out of Athens' National Archaeological Museum and strolled through the city, crumbling into pieces as it approached the Aegean. Strange purple mist wafted from the cracked marble and streamed into the atmosphere from the statue's remains. Months later, people and animals around the world discovered that they were blessed with magical powers in an ongoing phenomenon that became known as Hecate's Touch. Martin thought back to when Grace materialized in his living room all those years ago, nearly giving him a heart attack. He couldn't remember what was more jarring, her ghostly appearance or the fact that she could talk. Grace barked, snapping Martin back to the present moment. You're lightheaded, Grace huffed. This is why we should have taken the elevator. Much too slow. Martin ran his knobby fingers through a mane of curly white hair. Besides, the stairs really were the quickest way to the sub-basement. And you're sure it's been delivered? He pulled out his smartphone and turned the glowing screen towards Grace. The FedEx alert says, delivered. Then what are we waiting for? Grace darted snout first through the doors. It's not every day we get to summon a god through an obsidian Aztec mirror. Martin smiled and followed. So that's the opening chapter to my new book. I'm going to try to make a habit of reading aloud these chapters as I go along in this next draft. So hope you guys enjoy it. Hopefully you don't find my voice too annoying. And thanks for joining me. And if you stayed this long, thank you. Hope you enjoyed.